Hello, good day, how are you? Welcome to Culinary 108 Front of the House, Week 3, Day 3 lecture. We're going to be getting into a few things today about front of the house positions and the responsibilities of that. Again, I want to talk to you about your assignments and your projects. Please make sure you're getting on top of those, redoing the forums, making sure you're answering those, making sure that you got your projects done on time. It's very, very important. Your grade depends on it. And we're getting ready to go into week 4 and it needs to be done. Please get it done. You don't want to ruin this opportunity and ruin that chance of you moving on to the next class or graduating. All right, so please get it done. Thank you for the questions that you're texting and emailing me. Keep it going, and we'll get it banging out. You're doing good, but you need to stay on top of it. Okay. So week 3, I sent you out some videos about restaurant managers, how to clear a table. That one guy clearing a table is pretty impressive. Being an expediter is huge. Restaurant Gordon Ramsay. Everybody thinks he's a yeller and a screamer. I actually got to meet the gentleman. I had some scotch with him down in Miami years ago, and he told me at that time that if he would yell and scream that he does on the shows, at his cooks in his fine dining restaurants, they would walk, right? So he doesn't yell and scream in his restaurants. What he does do, he goes up to the individual and whispers in his ear, saying that he's messing up and you're a donkey. Because if you think about it, if somebody yells at you, you kind of cringe up like, oh, you're not really listening. You're hearing womp, 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 womp. But if somebody comes up next to you and starts whispering and telling you what's going on, you kind of tend to listen a little bit more. So I thought that was a great idea. He was pretty funny. At that time, I didn't know he was a soccer player, and I got to talk to him about that. But going forward with that, we're going to talk about the positions in the restaurant. And to run a very successful restaurant, you need a whole bunch of front of the house help, right? All right, so there's over 15 million restaurant workers in the United States, right? 9 in 10 restaurants have less than 50 employees. So we're not talking big restaurants here, all right? The importance then size, however, is that you definitely run a very skillful restaurant. And that being said, you're going to be talking about the owner, right? The owner of the restaurant. The owner takes full responsibility over the whole operation. Not that they're going to be 100% doing everybody's job, which I've seen a lot of owners do that, but that's not their job. Their job is to delegate and make sure everything is running fine, and that they are having a good communication with the guest. All right, they usually have bachelor's degrees or more in business and culinary arts. They are going to be ready. If you're going to be an owner, you're going to be working long hours, all right, and making sure the guests are taken care of, make sure your workers are taken care of, organization, your problem solving, and communicating. Think about all the owners that right now that are owning the restaurants, all right, that are going through this coronavirus epic catastrophe that's going on, and how they planning to be successful, to last, to survive. So that's the owner's responsibility. Excuse me, I have to rub my eye. Then you're going to have the general manager. General manager is going to be doing all the operations, day-to-day operations. All right. Yes, the owner is around, but the general manager is going to be it's where the tire hits the road, right? So he's going to be delegating roles to the staff. He's going to be creating the schedules. He's going to be determining the rules to follow, when you can do a smoke break, when you can't do a smoke break, where you're going to park, where you're going to eat, where do you clock in, hiring and firing a staff. That's what him and his team are about, the management team. They have to hire people, and unfortunately, sometimes you have to let them go. All right? Training the new staff, making sure that's done properly. All right? Good guest service. Good guest service. We did those steps of service. Well, it's his job and his team as restaurant managers to make sure that's happening. all the administrative decisions, when to pay, when not to pay the staff. What day do you pay on? You pay on a Friday or you pay on a Monday? I had to make that change down when I was in Key West, Florida with the Hard Rock Cafe. We started giving our payroll checks out on Friday, and everybody would get that, and they cash it, and then they call in sick on Saturday and Sunday because they're hungover. So what we did is we changed. We're the only one in the company, the Hard Rock company, that got payroll on Monday. The managers got their stuff on Friday, and because we usually had direct deposit, and you would get it on a Friday. But the paper checks would not come in until Monday. So, and that was a big thing. It helped. We'd have people ready to go on the weekends to cook and work. But something you got to think about. Setting up the business technology, making sure you have all the computers and the printers all correctly working. Good restaurant flow, how you're working it in between the front of the house and back of the house. Clear communications with those guys. Oversee front of the house guest services. Great guest experience. And then reporting back to the owner. You got to report back to the owner. You don't really need degrees, but what you're working for will definitely help you get to the next level. Be the executive chef, be a general manager, be a manager. I went from the back of the house to the front of the house. I've been a general manager, I've been a manager, been a bar manager, been a food and beverage director of a huge resort in Orlando. It's all that you want to do. You know, I just love cooking too much, so I got back into the kitchen. And I have an associate's degree in culinary arts. I got a bachelor's degree in hospitality management, and I got my master's degree in education. So, plus all my certifications that I have, that I'm always being a constant learner. All right, excuse me, itchy nose. You always have to be, I'm a career learner. I'm always looking for the next certification, always looking for something better to better my well-being. All right, so you have the owner, the general manager, itchy nose, sorry, I'll probably end up sneezing. Then you're gonna have your shift manager, your front of the house managers. There might be one of them might be in charge of the servers and hosts. The other one might be in charge of the bar, or maybe just does one in charge of both of them. So with those shift managers, they're the supervisors, right, which help the general manager. General manager can't be there all the time, just like the executive chef can't be there all the time. So the executive chef has his second, which is a sous chef. So now the general manager has his sous chef, so to speak, and that's the shift manager. All right. So they're making sure the restaurants are staffed. They're making sure they're handling staff complaints. They're handling the guest complaints. They're training the staff, and they're helping with the guest service, even if there's some good, making sure that the guest has a great experience. That's their job, all right? Qualifications for that can range from being high school to having all the way up to what you guys are doing. In your starting roles, you can be that front of house manager. And that's what I did. I went from getting a lot of money being in the back of the house, and then when I went with Longhorn Steakhouse, they wanted me to be a kitchen manager, and I said no. And they said, well, it's $50,000 for the kitchen manager. And I said, yeah, I realize that, but I want to be in the front of the house. And they go, okay, well, that's $30,000. So I said, okay, I'm fine. So I took a $20,000 hit just so I could be a front of house manager. So I worked for Longhorn Steakhouse for 2 years, and then, well, more than that, but within 2 years, I became a general manager where I was making over $60,000. So I beat my kitchen manager price by a lot, so it was over $60,000. So being a general manager for, at that time, Longhorn Steakhouse. So they're the management roles. You have the owner, the GM, and your assistant managers. They're so important to the management and supervision of the restaurant. My big one is the host. For the hourly employee, the host, my eyes are watering, my back's killing me right now, excuse me. But the host is so important because they're the ones that have the best impact when the guest comes in and have the best impact when the guest leaves. So you have a nice smiling host. It is awesome when they're very happy. They're welcoming all the guests. Thank you for being here. Thank you for coming in. Let me seat you to your table. And they don't run away from the guests. They walk with them. They talk to them. You know, how's your day going? We have a wonderful specials today. Peter's going to be your server. He's a wild and crazy guy. You'll have a fun time tonight. And then when they're leaving, right? When they're leaving, thank you so much for coming in, Mr. and Mrs. whoever. And look forward to seeing you again. So that's the big thing for the host. What they're also doing is they're organizing the seating charts. So the flow up front, you'll have a big dining room, and then each dining room is broken into sections because each server will have a certain amount of tables that they're in charge of. So when the guests are coming in, it's the host's responsibility to rotate those stations so all the servers get a fair share, all right? So the hosts are in charge of seating the guests, making sure the charts are right, making sure the menus are wiped down. Answering the phone is a huge one, all right? We do open table at Eggers, so they have a computer screen that people are doing reservations online, so they have to call those people up saying and reconfirming those reservations. There's a lot to do, a lot to do as a host, but very important position. Servers, all right, so with the host and with the servers, I can train anybody. What I like to look for in my front of house staff is their attitude, all right? Are they happy? Are they excited? One of my questions when I interview is tell me a joke, all right? Tell me a joke. And right then and there, you know if they're biased, racist, foul-mouthed, whatever. I mean, some of them say I don't know a joke, which is fine, but you got to come up with a joke. If you're American going in the bathroom, an American coming out of the bathroom, what are you when you're in the bathroom? European. All right, so hey, no harm, no foul with that one. Okay, so, but you need that energy in the front. You need the energy with the host. Hey, how are you? Welcome. It's good to see you. Thank you for coming into Eggers. You need that server. Hi, how you doing? My name's Peter. I'll be taking care of you today. What kind of specialty drink can I get for you? Can I start you off with a cold beverage? It's hot outside. You have to have that flamboyant and outgoing personality. If you're a slug and you have it's like you're like Eeyore. Oh, well, everything's going to be okay. You don't want them in the front of the house. Actually, I don't even want them in my restaurant. They'll bring everybody down. You need up tempo people. Okay, that's what you need in the front of the house. All right, and the servers, they're taking care of the guests. They're taking care of the food orders. They're taking care of the drink orders. They're ensuring, the glassware, everything's polished. Everything's lined up correctly. They have a full glass at all times. They're helping the guest walk them through the menu. They're the liaison between the front of the house and the back of the house. They're in charge of, making sure they have a great meal coming from the food that's being cooked in the back of the house. Right? The idea as a server is to sell as much as possible. One thing is because that's what your job is, to make money for the restaurant. Two, for everything that you're selling, you're getting 15 to 20% tip on that. So the more you can sell to a guest, the higher the tip is gonna be. Buying a bottle of wine, there's 4 people and they all want 1 glass of wine. Well, how about if you buy a bottle? We can get a bottle for you. All right, so taking that in consideration is a big deal. All right, how about a busser? Do you have a busser in the restaurant? You think they're important? And usually they're servers in training, a lot of them, or food runners, same thing, the servers in training. But your bussers, I met a busser one time. I was sitting at a table and having dinner, and all of a sudden this busser comes by and starts clearing the other table. And I had just sat down with the menu in my hand, and he's going, oh my goodness, they really like that. They they really cleaned their plates off. That special was really, really impressive. I mean, he's talking to himself, clearing the table, but he's also letting everybody know that these guests enjoyed the special. So my first question to the server when they come to the table is, what's the special today? I heard it's very good. But that was the busser. He was putting that in my head to ask about the special. So I thought that was really neat. And same with your host. Your host walking you to the table should be telling you all about the specials. Drink specials, food specials. All right, so bussers are very important. They need to take care of the guest. They need to reset tables. They need to assist the server. If a server needs something quickly and the busser can do it, they need another knife. A knife hits the floor. You need a clean knife, a spill. Can you run some food for me also? A busser is very important, all right? Very, very important. Because they're the go-between the guest and the server is the busser. The busser can overhear one of the guests saying, I need more water, or I need a Coke, or I'd like more rolls. And then he can tell that to the server, and the server can get that for the guest. How about your bartender? You think that's important? Another person that needs to have a great personality. Again, I can train anybody, but if you don't have a personality being the business and you're not hospitable, I'm going to tell you that maybe this isn't the career that you need. You need to be hospitable. You need to be outgoing. You need to be fun. You need to have a story. You need to show the people that they're coming in and we're so happy to see you. I mean, when I bartended for TGI Fridays, that was so much fun. It was so much fun bartending. You got 3 feet in between you and the guest, and you could pretty much have as much fun as possible. Making drinks for them, ordering food for them, boom, 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 boom. Just enjoying the atmosphere. Most of the time the bars and restaurants are the holding ground before the guests go, the waiting area if you want, before they go to their table. Maybe they're all meeting at the bar, having a glass of wine before they go to their table. Well, you can set them up. A good bartender will make you lots of money, but it also set the tone for the guests going into your dining room, right? So a good bartender is a great salesperson and will sell their specific drinks, but they're also get everybody fired up, the guests to go into the restaurant and enjoy the food, all right? So we talked about the bar managers. The bar manager is really in charge of overseeing the bar staff, maintaining liquor inventory, beer inventory, wine inventory. Maybe they're a sommelier. You know what a sommelier is? Right? Sommelier is somebody that's very knowledgeable in wine, right? That's gone through a certification, and the Quartermaster Sommeliers is one of those. And I'm lucky enough to be a sommelier, and I really enjoy wine, and I enjoy talking about wine. So if you can get a manager that's already a somm, that's even better, because then your manager, your bar manager, can be the sommelier, and they can go around and help sell liquor, beer, and wine to your guests, right? And the desserts, they can do that too, all right? So that's very important. You have banquet managers, catering coordinators, like at Eggers, the catering coordinator is Amy, and Amy is in charge of booking events at Snelling Center, at Eggers, big parties at Eggers, and also down at the Pinnacle Club. So she's a very busy lady. So there are the deals off of that. You have your general manager, you have your restaurant manager, you have your bar manager, you have your host, you have your servers, you have a busser / food runner, all right, your bartender, all right. So how many of those people do you have on your staff? At the largest Hard Rock Cafe I worked in, which was in Baltimore, we were doing, I don't know, 8 million in sales a year, and I was the general manager of it, but I had 110 employees, 110 employees, and we used every single one of them, so it was a great Christmas party, that's for sure. But it's one of those things. And then the smaller one I worked in, it was the Hard Rock in St. Thomas. In St. Thomas, I had, I think, 25 employees. That's all I needed, to run the Hard Rock in St. Thomas. So it's important you know your staffing needs, Very important that you need to know, and that's what you'll be working on your projects, that how many people does it take to run an operation? You know? How many servers does it take to run your front of the house dining room? How many seats is it? How many seats do you have? How many guests can a server handle? I would say up to 12 before our second server needs to help out. You know, how many cooks do you need on the line? Do you need one for every station? Well, maybe on a Friday, Saturday night when it's busy. Other than that, maybe you only need 2 people on the line. Okay, so these are things you need to look at. We're getting ready to go into week 4. Please get all your information that you need for your assignments. Get that done and get your projects done. And we'll see you next week. All right.